everyone, and welcome to another episode of the podcast For the Love of Drama. I am Fiona, and today I am going to be talking about the 1989 film Dead Poets Society, another one of my favourites, and starring the wonderful Robin Williams. In 1959, a new English teacher, John Keating, is introduced to an all-boys preparatory school known for its ancient traditions and high standards. He uses unorthodox methods to teach and to reach out to the students who face huge pressures from their parents and the school. With his help, students Neil Perry and Todd Anderson and others learn to break out of their shells, pursue their dreams, and seize the day. Or, as from Mr. Keating's lips, in the Latin expression, carpe diem. John Keating is played by Robin Williams. Neil Perry is played by Robert Sean Leonard. And Todd Anderson is played by Ethan Hawke. I think this film is a masterclass on life. It's about friendship, love, courage, and believing in yourself. Being who you are and what you want to be, not what others expect you to be. There's also great tragedy, great sadness, when one of the students, Neil Perry, takes his own life. And also betrayal, when Mr. Keating is blamed for his death. Robin Williams was amazing in this film, so charismatic, just comes across as this teacher who is not afraid to test the boundaries, to try and to bring these boys out of just being academic photocopies of their parents, and to really, really embrace life, suck the marrow out of life is the phrase. And he does it so well in true Robin Williams style. I mean, I think the man was a genius. He's just so clever. And there's a lot of comedy moments in this film. And it all boils down to comedy timing. It's very, not complicated, but it's precise. Comedy is. You've got to get just the right length of pause, or the right few words, the right expression on your face, and it can turn a flop of a joke into a massively successful joke. So it's clever stuff. I'd like to quote the verse of a poem that Mr. Keating reads out near the beginning of the film. And it sort of focuses on the theme of the film, to make the most of life while you have it and make your lives extraordinary. So I cannot remember the name of the poet, actually. I have got it I thought I wrote it down, but I haven't. But it's called, the actual name of the poem is called, hang on a minute, it's called To the Virgins to Make Much of Time. And the little bit that Robin Williams says is, gather ye rosebuds while ye may, old time is still a-flying. And that this same flower that smiles today, tomorrow will be dying. And on that cheery note, I'm just going to finish with talking about one of my favourite scenes in the film is the last scene, where Mr. Keating has to leave. His English class is taking the English lesson with the headmaster. And the headmaster is listening to one of the students read the introduction to a poetry book. But in the first scenes where Mr. Keating has his first lesson with the boys, he tells them to rip out the first few pages of the book because they are talking about poetry, talking about judging poetry like it's some kind of measurement competition, like oh, this is a really good car or something because it's got a great engine and great power, and it's judged on performance and stuff like that. And he reckons it's a whole load of rubbish, for want of a better word. And I think the actual chap who wrote the introduction in the book was called J.B. Pritchard. Well, let's just say that. So he tells all the boys to rip out the first chapter of the book. Begone, J.B. Pritchard. We don't want to hear any of your rubbish. Some such thing like that. He said, you cannot judge poetry like that. Poetry comes from the heart. Anyway, I am digressing as always. So, going back to the last scene in the classroom where the headmaster has one of the students reading this out, all the books have got this first chapter ripped out. So he gives the student his book. The student starts reading it, and Mr. Keating is packing up his stuff. Now, the boys are feeling very guilty because Mr. Keating has been blamed for Neil Perry, their fellow student's death. And one boy in particular, Todd Anderson, cannot contain himself any longer. So he calls out to Mr. Keating to say how sorry he is. Please believe him. He never meant to get them into trouble. And Mr. Keating says he does believe in him. And the headmaster is shouting at him to sit down, but he doesn't. He gets up on the desk, which is a follow-up from another scene where Mr. Keating got the boys to get on the desk to see the world from a different perspective. So, and he gets up on the desk and goes, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." And this is also something that when Mr. Keating introduced himself to the boys, he said, "You can call me Mr. Keating, sir, or if you're feeling slightly more daring, oh, Captain, my Captain." So this is what Todd Anderson does. And more than half the class get up on the table saying, "Oh, Captain, my Captain." And Mr. Keating looks round at all the boys stood up and says, "Thank you, boys, thank you." And that's the end of the film. And it's so powerful. And every time I watch it, it takes my breath away just a little bit more. So I hope you enjoyed that. I am going to leave you there. I apologise for the clattering that you might hear in the background. I've got the washing machine on and I am hoping to get some clothes dry tonight before the evening closes in. So take care. I will be back and talk about some more of my favourite scenes and possibly one or two of the characters on Friday. So look after yourselves, have a great week, and I will see you all very soon. Bye-bye.